What a world, is your homeboy Wordplay TJ, and in this episode of Under the Lines, I'm gonna talk about Thirsty. So my song Thirsty has a interesting story. I hooked up with a producer that I know in town, and he created this beat that I just absolutely loved, and I started working on it and just kind of expanding the sound, adding a few more instruments, and I was like, what am I going to talk about on this song? And ultimately what I decided is I wanted to do an ode to Commons. I used to love her, and talk about like my journey through my music career. As I was writing the song, I figured out I was sort of telling the story of my journey as this kind of like push and pull situation with hip hop, the industry, and the game, and how I felt trying to make it in the game and trying to like reach these accolades that felt unattainable. So the line that sticks out the most is,
we in the East Village chillin', getting shine on the radio. Missed the flight to Boston in my mind, I'm like, way to go.
breaking down these two lines, I want to talk about like what I was experiencing at the time. I had just put out my single Breakfast and Biggie, and it was starting to get some traction across the United States. And I wanted to go to New York City to promote the song and to grow my audience and also do some shows while I was there. So before I got to New York, I booked several shows. I booked one show in Manhattan, and I booked a show in Boston. The crappy part was that I missed my flight to Boston, and I wasn't able to make it, only because I was just like overworked. I was super tired, and I just missed my alarm totally. There was no way for me to get to Boston on time to make the original show, but I still made it up to New York in order to do some radio. And so I got some radio airplay on East Village Radio, and shout out to KB at Ballers Eve Radio. He put Breakfast and Biggie on the air and gave me some shine and gave me a little bit of love. What's funny about that night is that's the same night that I met Havoc from Mobb Deep, just randomly outside passing by the radio station. Fast forward to a day or so later, I did make it out to Boston. I had to get on a bus and ride that bus all the way to Boston just to do a radio interview, just to turn around and come back to New York City for some other things that I had to do. And for me, these lines talk about that journey, the complexity of that journey, how exhausting that journey was, and all of the things that I had to go through in order to make it in the game. And there's just so many things to unpack, so I'm just like barely scratching the surface. Simultaneously, I'm saying things are frustrating. I'm not sure that I'm gonna make it, and I don't know how I feel about this relationship with hip hop. What I want listeners to learn and hear is that like this thing isn't easy. It's not easy being an independent artist. It's not easy doing so much by yourself. And it's not easy to take on such a huge, monumental sort of goal. You're going to have a lot of hard times, and those hard times are exemplified by the lyrics in this song. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go check out Thirsty. I want you to listen to it from front to back. I want you to share it with somebody if you get something out of it. And until next time, it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ. Peace.